One of Destiny 2's best features is the build crafting and the amount of different unique builds that you can create. Today we're going to be looking at a Weapon of Sorrow build that utilizes the Necrotic Grips from the Warlocks to help spread damage and have every enemy suspended. We are going to be dropping builds a ton more on the channel for Guardian games. If you guys don't know, Guardian Games is an event in Destiny 2 that allows all the classes to come work together to prove who's better. And listen, I'm a big Warlock fan. Hunters and Titans, you guys aren't winning. Warlocks, we gotta step it up this year, and we're gonna be dropping builds to help us get there in our PvE routines. That way, nobody's depositing medallions as much as us. If you're new here, welcome to the family, and if you've been here, welcome home. Let's get into it. There are currently 4 Weapon of Sorrows in the game. One of them being Touch of Malice, the other being Thorn, another being Necrochasm, and finally Osteostriga. You can use any of these weapons with this build. If you prefer a different one other than Thorn or Necrochasm, which is what we're going to be focusing on in this video, I found it most enjoyable with the Necrochasm and Thorn, but there's still plenty of fun to use it with Osteostriga and Touch. The only thing is I don't believe the Osteostriga poison stacks with Necrotic Grips, so you might just want to keep it to maybe Touch of Malice, Thorn, and Necrochasm. If you're jumping into Grandmasters or Master Raids, you might want to run the Thorn, as the buffs to hand cannons is making the Thorn do a bit more damage, but if you're like me and you're tired of running hand cannons, Sunshot, I blame you for this, the Necrochasm might become the next best option for you. The abilities that we're going to run is going to be Healing Grip or Empowering, that's your choice, whatever jump you prefer, our Arcane Needles for our powered melee, and our Shackle Grenades. The Shackle Grenade plays a very important part in this build, so if you don't already have it, you gotta go focus in Neomuna and get yourself your Shackle Grenades. For our aspects, we're gonna be running the Wanderer. This is going to allow the tangles that we throw to suspend enemies, and if we destroy a tangle, it will also create a suspending burst. We're also going to be running this alongside Mind Spun Invocation. This is going to allow us to consume our Shackle Grenades and activate Weaver's Trance. Final blows with Weaver's Trance active will then create a suspending detonation, further playing into the suspend everyone and easily transfer our debuffs to spread the poison and the lingering damage effects. We're going to be building into that power fantasy a bit more with this build using those 2 aspects. Our fragments are going to be Thread of Generation. Dealing damage feeds us back some energy for our grenades. Continuity, our Suspend, Unraveling, and Sever effects is going to have a longer duration. Isolation, landing rapid precision hits amidst a severing burst from the target, and Warding. Picking up an orb grants Woven Mail just to help with our survivability, and Woven Mail does give us significant damage reduction, so you're not going to feel as you're dying so easily in some of that harder in-game content. Our mods are super simple for this build. For the helmet, we're going to be running a Kinetic and Arc Siphon mod. Our arms will have Momentum Transfer, Bolstering Detonation, and Kinetic Loader to help with the super long reload on the Thorn. Feel free to sub that mod out if you choose. Our chest is going to be our resistance mods. Cater that towards whatever activity you're doing or enemies you're having difficulty staying alive against. Our legs will have Stacks on Stacks and 2 Kinetic Surge mods to boost our primary damage, and our class item will have Outreach, Bomber, and Time Dilation to extend our Weapon Search mod. Our exotic that we'll be running to make the build really come together and pop will be a Necrotic Grip. That's intrinsic perk is Grasp of the Devourer. Damaging combatants poisons them, also dealing increased damage over time. Defeating a poison combatant will also spread the condition to nearby enemies. This also provides a moderate benefit to our airborne effectiveness to any Weapon of Sorrow. Again, that's going to be Necrochasm, Thorn, Touch of Malice, or Osteostriga. This build is going to center all around the debuffs that we'll be applying to enemies and the poison spread through our Necrotic Grips. First, we'll consume our grenade to activate Weaver's Trance so that any kill we get will proc suspend to nearby enemies. Then we're going to be using our powered melee, Arcane Needle, to spread Unravel and start killing everything. If you're using Thorn, you'll also have the Unravel, the Necrotic Poison, and Thorn damage stacked continuously, damaging enemies, which is going to be good for your champions, your yellow bars, and bosses. But if you're using Necrochasm, its intrinsic perk is Cursebringer, which will grant precision final blows to cause a Curse Thrall explosion. Any kills with that explosion will refill your mag. With the Thorn, you'll have your damage stacked and you'll be able to burn the health bars pretty quickly. But for that AoE, that burst damage, that crowd control, then the Necrochasm will be giving you that with its Cursed Roll Explosion. It'll also ramp up with Desperado if you're getting precision kills. Just keep that in mind. Once you get the hang of the build, you'll see just how much damage that you're getting out on enemies and the crowd control that you actually gain from it. Once your grenade is recharged, just go ahead and consume it. You'll be able to rinse and repeat everything that we've gone over in the video. That way you can get through whatever content that you're playing with ease. Anytime that your grenade is available, just go ahead and consume it. That way Weaver's Trance is always active. I wanted to make a suspend build that went to the next level, and we've done suspend builds on the page before, but I think this one takes the cake because not only are we suspending, but we now have a way to create a lingering damage that applies to a ton of enemies at once, whether that's the Necrotic Grip poison and the Thorn stacking damage on one continuous enemy, or using the Necrochasm to set off a Cursed Roll detonation which chains to all the enemies nearby. This is reaching a bit more into that primary ability power fantasy, and I think this one really exploits that. That's it for this build, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. It's a different unique take on suspend by adding that linger damage that spreads to everything on the field. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as that tells me that you guys enjoyed the content and want more. Also, let me know what builds you guys want to see next. We use these builds live on Twitch, so if you haven't already, swing by and drop a follow so you always know when I'm live. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.